Today on Critix Talk, we talking spoiler cast for Spider-Man Far From Home. We talking Paul Rudd and Ghostbusters.
And Samuel L. Jackson is joining the reboot to Saw.
Stay tuned. Critix Talk, I am one of your hosts, Migz, alongside the one and only Klep. And today we're joined by Critix Music own Wade. What up, Wade?
Buenos dias, amigos.
Oh, with the Spanglish. You know how we
I've been binging Narcos.
How the criticals doing today, bro? How's everyone doing, bro?
I'm good.
We boiling out in this heat, bro.
Yo, so hot, middle of the summer, bro.
It's been like 90 degrees
Yeah.
every day.
That's how we do. We might as well be in the Sahara out here, but we're not here to talk about that. Screw the weather. We're here to talk about this entertainment news, right? Today we're breaking down, full spoiler, Spider-Man Far From Home, the latest flick in the MCU.
Talking that talk.
Last week we did a spoiler-free review, so if you haven't watched this movie, I recommend to go check that out before you listen to this, because, you know, we going there.
Gotta catch up.
Now, we all watched this film, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yo.
3 times.
3?
Whoa.
When did you go again?
Klep doesn't play.
Last Tuesday.
He's like, I went on premiere night, I went on opening night, and then I went like the other day because it was
Savage, bro.
like bargain Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It
now,
was one of
now
those
I feel
nights
like you
before.
might. All right, now I'm comfortable talking about it with you.
Yeah, no, this dude,
Yeah.
he's definitely the person to talk it out with, because
It was like one of those nights I was just bored, and I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? There wasn't really anything else to see. I don't really want to see Migz. So
yeah.
I just was like, yo, fuck it, I'm just going to see Spider-Man again.
But also with that movie, what I've noticed is there's so much like culture shock with it, like not like more of like shock value. I think like everybody's walking away from that like it's the best Spider-Man ever. It's one of the best Marvel, and I'm like.
Yeah,
Already, we're giving it
you
that?
definitely pick up more things. Like the more you see it, you'll pick up more things.
Yeah.
You'll see a little bit of things that could have done without. They could have did without. But at the end, it's a solid Spider-Man movie. It's not the greatest movie, but it is a solid Spider-Man movie for the MCU.
You know what? You are right about that, Wade, though, because I have been hearing a whole lot of hype about this movie. And don't get me wrong, I really like this movie. But people are coming out of there talking about it's
Flawless.
the best Marvel movie. And and it's not
Yes.
It's not.
Yo,
It's
because
not
it
that.
literally started as right when it dropped, it was like it's the best Spider-Man movie, and that was like everywhere. Everybody was saying that. Then all of a sudden, it started escalating. Like, is this the best Marvel? It's like what? Yo, it's not even in my top 5. Period. It's not even.
No way this is better than Infinity War.
And you know what's
It's not even the best Spider-Man ever.
Yeah, and like that's
Period.
exactly what I was about to say. Like, I have issues giving this like the best Spider-Man
Yeah, no.
because I
It's
still
not.
love that second Raimi movie.
It is. That's
Shout
the
out
best.
to Doc Ock.
Absolutely. This is the best franchise already, though. I would say. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I would say this already has the
It's
most
the most
potential.
solid.
It's got
Consistency.
and like you said, I don't know if you've dropped that bomb on here yet, but if they're really going for that 9-film.
Drop the bomb, Klep.
Yo, can we drop some? Yeah.
Drop the bomb.
Do we have
There
Funk
was a-
Flex bombs?
There was a rumor out there that they're gonna drop 9 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for Tom Holland. 3 take place in high school, 3 take place in college, and the other 3 take place as an adult. Which I'm okay. I'm okay with that, and I think that works. But they better have some very, very, very good fillers in between. All
That's
of
what-
these
yeah.
movies, you
So
know what I
wait,
mean?
don't, because I have heard the 9-picture deal, but I heard that those also include the cameo. So movies where we already seen them, like Civil War, we seen them in both Avengers movies, Endgame and Infinity War. So those are 3 of them right there. So basically, we gotten 6 out of them already.
So you think that those?
Well, 5.
But the new deal is 9 new movies.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the rumor.
But I do agree with that. I feel like they are going to do like I was telling him, like how they did, like Civil War is technically an installment to the Captain America
Right.
franchise, but realistically, it's just the Avengers like timeline.
It is an Avengers.
So I think it's not going to be 9 Spider-Man movies. It's going to be like there's going to be like a Civil War type
More
movie where
Avengers
it's
movies.
everybody, but it'll be technically in his universe.
Which makes more sense because
Absolutely.
Spider-Man is tied into a lot of different storylines, and that will give them an opportunity to bring in a lot of these bigger events. I think it's perfect, like Secret Wars and things of that nature.
So you know what? Since we're talking about locking in this actor for such a long time, let's talk about the man himself. Let's talk about Tom Holland, right?
Absolutely.
Is he the best Spider-Man? Has he been your favorite, Wade?
See, with me, it's like you guys aren't going to get this reference, but like any of the sports fans at home, which there's probably none of you, it's like how everyone compares Brady with like Manning, and it's like I think Peyton may have had the better numbers, but Brady had the better foundation.
Okay.
So I think as far as like Tom Holland's foundation and his infrastructure, vastly better.
Yeah,
vastly better. Spider-Man was coming out of left field. The comic book movies weren't even a thing at that point. Like they pretty much like started that whole thing.
Pretty
like,
much, yeah.
To the level that it's at now. You know what I mean? And I think obviously he didn't have the best franchise because only two of them were fun.
Who's he?
Toby and Raimi. Like two of those were good. You know what I mean? And like the third one was trash.
Yeah.
And I've read that he wanted to make a fourth one, and they just didn't get it together in time, and they ended up getting it.
Technically, they made that fourth one because a lot of the plot is Homecoming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of the story.
You've seen some of that?
From 4.
Mysterio was the villain
in 4,
and there were a lot of other elements that played a part in it before the rewrite. So technically, that 4 has become Homecoming.
That's
That's
awesome.
dope.
Yeah.
That's really good. Klep, how do you feel about Tom, man?
I like Tom. He's my favorite Spider-Man, hands down.
Really?
Yeah.
Over Toby already?
I'm,
You're gonna do Toby like
just
that?
Looked a lot older.
Damn, we're doing Andrew really dirty right now.
Bro, Andrew, he had the look. Me neither.
I wasn't. Like, even though I'm a Spider-Man fan, I thought the Amazing Spider-Man title was enough to bring me in, but I mean, it fell short.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't. I don't even hate Amazing Spider-Man 2 like everyone else.
Oh,
does.
I hate that movie.
I don't hate it as much as everyone else does, but I like Tom Holland because he's just younger. I like how they play with the genre of a teen movie and they make it a teen movie, but it's still a superhero movie
And a comedy.
Yeah, it's still a teen
Like,
movie.
it's funny.
Yeah,
Really
it's
is.
hilarious.
It's like very Deadpool-y
And I
in
feel
this
like
comedy.
he's perfect for it. He plays that role well. Kids will relate to him. He looks young enough, so he's definitely like my favorite. And I want to see. I hope the stakes get risen more, like how they did in this one with the way he had to fight Mysterio. Mysterio was pretty much kicking his ass.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that because he's a flawed character. Spider-Man by no means is as perfect as any of the other heroes. He always gets his ass whooped. He always gets the short end of the stick, and I can't wait to see that.
Yo, going back to the whole Andrew thing, Garfield. I've heard people describe him to me as he was just too cool to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I honestly he wasn't like conflicted. You didn't believe it. Like Toby in to Holland, like it's like written on their face at all times. They're scared.
That geeky quality.
Yeah,
right?
even when things are going well, they got that look in their eye where like you can tell in the back of their mind they're thinking about this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Garfield just felt way too comfortable in his role.
Too confident.
Yeah, like you're supposed to be a scared shitless little kid that is getting handed all this stuff and you don't really know how to grasp it because you're a freaking teenager. Like grasping the teenage years in itself is difficult. Yeah. So to have this superhero role and like you lose your father figure and like you're getting this shit is getting thrown at you and you got to deal with it. Your balls need to drop faster than anyone else.
And that's why I say Tom Holland, he executes that perfectly because I feel like he is the perfect balance of what Toby was doing because we got a lot of that in Toby, but they leaned a lot on the love story versus his his overall having to deal with all this conflict.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I felt like Toby got the shit out of the stick, and honestly, it's like Kanye said. It's like the first one's over the mountain gets slayed, like, and then everyone is like, oh, we can go over the mountain now.
Yeah.
But the first person had to go over there and get his ass kicked to be like, yo, we can go over here. It's like, I think Toby had to get those rocks thrown at him so that like Tom Holland could prosper.
Yeah.
But like him breaking the mold of the comic book universe and like really opening it up, like, yo. He deserves a lot of credit, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
And his individual performance he bodied it. Yeah. He just didn't don't get me wrong, Raimi did a great job. But that third one, it just was horrible.
Yeah.
Raimi was the only one that kept it close to the cartoon.
Yeah. That third one really did leave a sour note on everyone's flavor palate.
He was such on a roll.
He really was. And I love Raimi as a filmmaker, he went on to did Drag Me to Hell, which is
yeah, he does a
for
lot of
a
horrors.
PG-13, it's just awesome.
Evil Dead.
I saw that. He's pretty pro horror.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the cast, right? The rest of the cast. I know we've already touched on this, but how do you guys feel about Sam Jack coming back as Nick Fury, Maria Hill coming back for this film, and then the big spoiler at the end that it wasn't them the entire time. Were you guys fooled by this? Wait.
To be honest, you guys know this stuff more than I do, so I obviously was not expecting that at all. But I did feel like there was something off about Sam Jack. Like there were things that he was saying that were like, what did he say at one point where he was just like,
I know
he was like Sam Jack, like he wasn't like Nick Fury for a second, and I was like he was swearing more than he usually was, and I was like, I did say he was a little off.
Yeah,
absolutely. I didn't notice it with the girl at all.
Yeah, well, we don't see her much.
She was a lot quiet. Than she normally. I mean, her and Nick usually.
There's a little banter.
Yeah, a little bit. Even in the first Avengers, they talk a little like. I mean, but they did seem a little like I didn't grasp it. I didn't guess it before the movie was over. Right. But I mean, that post-credit scene definitely sealed the deal.
It's funny how like you have done repeat watches on this. It probably changes a lot of the movie for you knowing after the fact that they've been replaced the entire time, because now you're going and thinking about lines like when he's trying to recruit Spider-Man to go do this mission. Spider-Man's like, oh, I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and he's like, bitch, you've been to space.
Yeah. When he said that, I was like, Nick Fury says that? Yeah. Like, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, what I picked up on was like in the beginning when they did the opening scene with Mysterio and how they were at that place, and it kind of seemed like they weren't supposed to be there. That was kind of like
when
they first met the first
right in the beginning, the opening scene. No, when they met Mysterio.
When they're dealing with the elementals.
The first elemental.
When he's like, you don't want any part of this.
Yes.
Like when they get out of their car and they go to that place, Maria Hill says something to him about. I don't even remember, and I should remember, but she says something in a sense where they shouldn't have been there. Yeah. And he is kind of like, well, they want to check it out anyways. So that there kind of like, kind of hints at what's going on. Like, but other than that, that's like the only thing that you.
But I thought in general they played a really good big brother role, because with the, you're missing Iron Man, so you have to have that kind of big brother over your shoulder. I thought, who's Favreau's character? Is that Lucky? Happy. Yeah, I thought he was really good.
Oh yeah, Happy's the man, bro.
I love him, and I hope they never get rid of him.
Let's go with that forever. Happy and Marissa Tomei's anime relationship.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, did we all love it?
I loved it.
I didn't hate it at all.
I love it because they've been hinting at they were hinting at it in Homecoming.
I love that it was a lot more serious for him than it is for her.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I like
she was just like, wait, what? I thought this was like a summer thing.
I like that they didn't go with the obvious, because everyone thought that Tony was going to be the one, and they didn't go with the obvious. They went with Happy, and I like that. I like that dynamic a lot. It makes it more interesting.
Quentin Beck, bro. Let's talk about Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
How awesome was Gyllenhaal? Like, homies out here. I mean, listen. We all love Gyllenhaal.
Of course.
Movies like Nightcrawler, the recent Velvet Chainsaw.
Yes.
Bro, this dude's.
I didn't like that, but I thought he did a really good job.
He's on a roll.
He did a great job in that. And also, let's note that he was actually supposed to be the original Spider-Man. Remember, he was supposed to replace Tobey.
He was.
So that's crazy.
Yeah. It's like full circle for him. Like now you're on the other side of it. You could have been. You know what I mean? So I thought Gyllenhaal did better than I expected, to be completely honest, because I'm always a little weary when they add like a big star to the Marvel universe. I'm like, all right, how's this gonna fit? Because I kind of like guys that are like, I haven't really typecasted.
Like when
yet.
they brought in Holland, they were like, I haven't seen this guy. Anything.
It was like Affleck bodied Batman, but it was like, it's fucking Affleck right there. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude. Yeah. I'm like thinking about him like using animal crackers on this girl's tits and freaking Armageddon. Like, I'm not thinking that's Bruce Wayne. Like, that's why I thought Bale was so good. So Gyllenhaal, I thought he bodied it, but it was like I said to you, it wasn't so much the look, because he looked incredible. Like, his powers were incredible. Yeah. Everything that he put Spider-Man through was visually stunning and took you on a ride.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It was just his motives that bugged me. Because like I was telling you, like, I feel like that's something that Marvel hangs their hat on with their villains. Like, they do a really good job with, like, the villains aren't, like, outstanding and they're not as dark and, like, maniacal as Thanos. DC villains. And obviously, like, Thanos is, like, broke the mold for Marvel. But, like, they always have a good, like, background and, like, you kind of get where they're coming from. Even Loki, you're like,
justified a little bit.
Yeah, you're like, I get it. This one, it was just like, really? That's why you're here? That's why you're doing all of this? Because you want to be, like, come on.
Like, it really doesn't really hit home unless you're, like I said, a fan of this MCU. just to call back alone to Civil War and seeing him on stage when Tony was talking about Barf.
Oh, those were brutal.
Like,
where they're just like digitally adding him into these scenes, and he's like in the background, like
for someone like me. That's like reading the comics. You know what I mean? That's like tying in.
It's like bringing back a panel from like 5 years ago.
It's like, oh yes, it works. It works.
Like when they brought back that scene from Iron Man 1. Which is how old now?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
And to me, that's a payoff, and I can understand. But like the casual person will probably be like, "Who the hell are these people? What's going on?" Being lost, but for the fans, that's fan service.
It's crazy how you probably could ask Jeff Bridges if he knows he's in this movie,
I know,
and he's like, "What? I'm in Spider-Man."
Ask Tony if he's in this.
Yeah, ask Tony. You know, like it's just like they have history. Bro.
And when they revealed what it was, like when the revelation in the bar happened, it was like, I don't know. I felt deflated, and I felt a little bit of deflation from the entire crowd, which was like a really good crowd. You guys, we were all there. Like, it was like rounds of applause at like the key scenes. That scene, it just felt like the wind got taken out of it. Like it was going so well, and then it was like, Sandy, you did great on the 1s and 2s, and Bobby, wow, we couldn't have done this without you. It's like, now I got to take this guy seriously as a villain. Like he's going around the room and like, I don't know.
It was a brain trust, right? Mysterio wasn't a guy. It was a
team.
A committee of scorned
of
individuals.
Of smoke screen. That's why I was like, yo, I like the stakes to be as high as possible. In these movies, like, I want to be scared. I always think back to when I watched The Dark Knight. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time, like, the Joker had me like, what is this motherfucker gonna do next? Like, bro, I was scared, more scared than Bruce was. Like, I was like, yo, like, he's about to fuck our whole shit up. Like, and in this, it was just like, he's using cameras and special effects. Like,
that's Mysterio though. Like,
but he's like a magician though.
No, he's a special
He's a magician.
He's a special effects.
Bro, I looked that shit up.
No,
he's a musician and
he's a special effects like on
artist.
Movies.
Not a musician, a magician.
He's a special effects artist on movies, and
he loses his job because of Spider-Man or whatever. Because like he comes in because of Jay Jonah, right? Like it was like a whole.
Can I be honest with you? I've never been a fan of the like Edward Nygma like. Too many questions. It's just too many questions. What was the Marvel one where that happened with Jamie Foxx? Where he was like neglected in the beginning, and it's like, I need to get him back. It's like, that is the worst.
Spider-Man 2.
That is the most played out like villain dynamic
trope,
ever. I am so over that. And like, and Marvel's better than that, bro. As far as we are into this universe, I feel like they took the easy way out with this villain. I'm sorry.
Really?
And I think major points need to be reduced for it.
I feel like this movie did not kill the villain, even though most people would assume that they did.
I was content.
Yeah, I feel like we will see more Mysterio.
That's because we were expecting the twist. A lot of people weren't expecting it.
I was not expecting that twist whatsoever.
Me and Klep talked about the twist a while back.
Like, he already knew that the Elementals were fake.
Yeah, Elementals, like, I went in there knowing, like, this is Mysterio's, this is his play, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To get everybody thinking, oh, look at this.
And
it's misdirection. That's what a magician
But this
does.
is what I always gotta like remind you guys of
that
like,
not everybody knows this.
you guys are 50%.
Oh, more than that. More than that.
Yeah, we are.
We walk in there 85% of like
they're doing $1 billion.
we know what we expect.
No, but I'm saying like the casual fan is the majority.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bro, and I'm more in tune than most casual fans, especially in this department. And like, bro, I was like, oh, he's the next Iron Man. He put the shades on. I was like, he looks as good as Downey doesn't. Like,
they got Wade.
They got me. They got me. Like, I was invested, bro.
I went in there like, I want to know how he turns.
And when he turned, I was like, oh shit, this is dope. And then when he went around the room and just thanked everybody for 10 minutes, bro, it just deflated the whole shit. The stakes were completely lowered at that point.
Well, I mean, they had to change the origin a lot. Like, they couldn't have said that this one man was doing it alone. Because, like you said, he's a special effects artist, magician. Like,
one person can never pull that type of.
It's just to be realistic. He couldn't do this by himself.
No.
So he had a team which worked for Tony, and I like the fact that they're using Tony's demons to bring more stories.
Once again,
like he's gone, but now it's like
you didn't like that at first.
No, I did like that.
No, you hated it. You were like, I hate that they keep using Iron Man like in the story.
I hate that they kept
referencing to
the references were just getting
showing him,
but he was a big deal.
Zombie Iron Man,
and also I think they're just trying to like communicate the fact that like the mantle is there to be taken, and it's a big fucking mantle.
It's a huge mantle.
Like it's the biggest.
They're definitely playing that up. Yeah, they are definitely playing.
And that's why I think what you're saying about the 9 films in this is it's gonna work.
Yeah, it might
because
work out.
he's the new Iron Man, so he's the new face of anything that's happening. He needs to be involved or at the forefront of it.
I just hope that this marriage between Disney and Sony continues, and that we don't get
Just don't fuck up Deadpool.
3 more good movies, and then they decide to like part ways over creative differences. Like, let Marvel do what they're doing. Sony, please, you guys just keep cutting the check, because you're seeing the residuals. You're seeing it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just hope that this continues.
How much money has this movie made so far? Have they crossed that Billy line?
I don't know, but I know that their opening weekend was supposedly bigger than Infinity War.
Wow.
So, I mean, the movie's premiered on a Tuesday, so.
Yo, let's take it all the way to the middle end credit scene. Let's talk about that big reveal, right? We get the comeback of J. Jonah Jameson himself,
Epic,
played by J.K. Rowling, right? Coming back from one of your favorites from the original Spider-Man.
Wait, J.K. Rowling?
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons. My bad.
I was like, holy shit, she's a man now.
Don't feel bad. Kevin Smith did the same thing.
Hey, why not? There's only 2 famous J.K.s, bro.
Yeah.
So, hey, no, but for real, we got J.K. Simmons back in his role of J. Jonah.
No, that was iconic.
Bro, what?
And you know the cool thing about this scene, right? We've seen this scene a lot of times. This was the scene that they kept showing online. There were like images of MJ and Spider-Man in his new suit. And the whole
flying
time
to the city.
We're thinking that this is part of the movie, when in fact it was the post-credits.
And that's why Marvel's just got it figured out, bro.
A million times.
Yo, but let's break it down. Like, no more Spider-Man and secret identity, right? Like, he was the one person in the whole MCU that still had a secret identity. That is poof, gone. What do you think is going to be the repercussions? How is this going to affect future films?
It's going to kill it. Because now they can turn a whole new corner. They don't have to hide behind the curtain. It's like, you're like it's like, Doug, it's like the Wizard of Oz, and now this nigga don't got to hide behind the fucking, the curtain anymore. Yeah. Like, now the curtain is exposed, and now, because, bro, I feel like that's difficult as a writer.
Yeah.
You have to kind of dance around that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, like, well, we can't do that because then it's gonna expose them. It's like, now it's unlimited. Now you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bothered by it, but at the same time, I loved it. I thought that the way that they did it was worth the wow. Like, the holy shit. Like, we didn't expect it. I kind of like the secret identity thing. It's that thing that makes the little kids feel like being superheroes.
Right. Anybody could be him.
Yeah, to play around with secret identities and stuff like that. But it's cool. I think it's cool. Maybe they're gonna set us up for Miles later down the road.
Yeah, Klep, I wanted to go there since you're like the more out of all of us, you're definitely the more comic person that's
that's why I think these things hurt him more.
Any storyline specifically that you feel like where they could go? Anything you might want to see?
Honestly, like, because there really isn't. There is a little bit of a storyline where his secret identity gets out there, but it's a little too magical.
Yeah. Doctor Strange comes in and like reverses. It's wild.
I don't see that ever becoming something that happens. Maybe Doctor Strange.
Wait. So what you're saying? He's gonna come in and like put a spell on everybody so they forget?
Pretty much. Yeah, that's what it ends up happening.
What, they're like them Men in Black?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, they might as well just do the crossover and have Hemsworth pop in and just like snap.
No. Keep Hemsworth. If he's not Thor, I'm done.
So I mean, but here's a good thing. Like, I'm okay with this. Because, like you said, it shakes things up.
Yeah.
It breaks the monotony. It breaks, redundance. I have no idea where Marvel's going after this. Like,
and that's why I love it.
Like, at all.
Because you guys were predicting this whole movie step by step.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And, like, now it's like a dangle. Like, we got Spider-Man hanging over here, and then we still got a whole bunch of other properties that are coming that we have no idea what they're going to be like. We got Black Widow. We got Eternals. Like, we don't know what they're going to be. And now it's like the one property that everyone thinks they know, we can't even guess.
And that's why I love it, because it's like what we talked about after Batman vs Superman, how they did that opening scene of like his parents dying again. It's like, yo, we've seen it a million times. You know what I mean? They could have completely did without that. And like, I know you were upset when he didn't have an Uncle Ben in Homecoming.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of the source material.
And that's when I told you, what did I say?
they're gonna use Tony.
It's going to be Tony that's going to be the Uncle Ben, and they're still going to hit it with that dynamic.
Yeah, because they eventually killed him.
And it's like, I think we're at the point where
you gotta mourn him.
And we're at the point where I think we realize that this franchise is gonna it's throwing the middle finger at a lot of the things that were staples in this franchise before, and they're mixing it up, which I love it.
Like MJ.
Exactly. Like, dude, and it's all has worked. The Tony dynamic.
Everybody.
Let's talk about that one scene that really kind of stuck in my head.
Talk
maybe
about it.
People didn't really break it down like I brought it. But when it was almost over, and
Preach.
at the airport, and they show them hold hands, like I feel like that is so powerful. I feel like that one scene kind of like told everybody who had a problem to shut the fuck up.
Right.
Because it's like brown and white.
It works.
No,
it
works.
works. It works.
It works, and it's like their chemistry on screen.
Oh, I was just about to get into that.
Bro,
yeah,
it is so much more deeper and organic than him and Toby and bro. It's so much deeper. Like you want it to happen.
Better than Garfield and.
Oh, bro, everything in that franchise is the worst. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I like what
even though they were a couple in real life.
I know, right? They had
that probably is what made it so bad.
No on-screen chemistry, and you guys were banging in real life.
Yeah, like that makes no sense.
So I think
Hollywood couples for you.
I like what Disney and Marvel are doing with this interracial thing with this couple. It definitely breaks down barriers. It definitely just works. Like
it does.
And also it makes it more inclusive.
Yeah.
That's what we need, bro. Like, and especially in the comic book world, this is everywhere now. This is not a niche market. This is the market.
Yeah.
If you're making movies, this is it. Yeah. So they need to be at the forefront of these types of like decisions and these changes. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What they may even do is we may even see the Miles and Gwen Stacy relationship, because that's in the comics.
Why not?
As well. So you know what I mean? I would like to see more of that. I think it works.
Listen, if this 9-picture movie is a real thing, we're gonna see a whole lot more of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. We're happy about it. We love this film.
Pumped.
And we can't wait to see more.
Yeah. Did we miss anything?
I mean, we talked about the plot. We talked about the villains. We talked about Tom. We talked about the future.
But we really didn't get in depth on that second post-credit scene.
Talk about it.
So, for those of you who've seen it, the end of the end of the film ends with another post-credit scene after the credits, where it shows Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury, and Maria Hill, Colby.
Bro, I was vexed.
Smothers.
I was vexed.
Smolders.
You didn't like it?
No, it's not that I didn't like it. I was so lost.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't see Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, bro, I was literally in outer space.
Yeah,
like, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Need to see Captain Marvel.
These movies build on each other.
Well, okay, you either have to see Captain Marvel or you have to know the Marvel comic universe. Because everyone that knows the Marvel comic universe knows the Skrulls. And the Skrulls, Nick Fury and Maria Hill, they turn into Skrulls from Captain Marvel, Talos and his wife.
Yep.
So the whole time, the whole entire movie, it was never Nick Fury, it was never Maria Hill. I love that.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
And the reason I love that is because now it opens doors for who else on Earth is a Skrull.
Or Kree, for that matter.
Yeah.
Because if the Skrulls are here, the Kree are near as well.
The Kree look more like Terran than anything. They look like us.
Yeah, I mean, they could look like us because, you see homie from Guardians of the Galaxy, he was a black Kree. So, Kree comes in all colors, bro. Yeah. They might be orange.
I like that.
Yeah, they might be black. They might be white. They do look like Terrans, except, their ears are a little pointy.
So I'm very excited to see, and I hope this plays a big part with people that we think we've lost.
Yeah.
Nick Fury's been up in space the whole time, watching down. Who knows? He could have sent some sleeper cells.
Yeah, how long have the
Stark?
Have they been here since the 90s?
Widow.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel happened in the 90s, meaning how long has Nick Fury been a replacement?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Could have been the whole time.
Yeah, he could have been.
He was on that beach the whole time?
Probably.
Yeah.
God damn.
He could have knew about the threat before it happened.
Bro, that's goals.
He could have knew about Infinity War before it actually happened because he's been up in space. Remember in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there was an episode when they knew Thanos was coming.
Yeah, bro, but I'm so over TV and Marvel.
It was mentioned.
Yeah.
Thanos was mentioned, and they knew he was coming to Earth. So,
but we all knew that was coming eventually.
Yeah, but I mean, people in space knew. They knew that something was going to happen. And they showed that in the show, and they showed, you know what I mean? So, we don't know how long Nick Fury's known about this. Nick Fury could have known about this for forever. Remember,
I'm super excited.
spy.
I'm super excited for this franchise, and I hope that they don't continue to move at a glacial pace moving forward. Because I felt like this one, I feel like I think they made the decision after Homecoming, like, all right, we're doing 9 movies. Let's reel it back in. Let's save some of the good guys, some of the good villains for 3, 4, 5, or like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I just felt like they really played it safe in this movie.
Yeah, they definitely are saving a lot of their big guns.
And I don't like that.
Apart from Batman, Spider-Man has like the best villains gallery. So
yeah,
you know, I do want to see a whole lot more of everybody else that we've been missing
as well. Like Kingpin, we
Yeah.
all know is a Daredevil villain, but he also is the one that starts the Sinister Six. So they share villains every once in a while.
But like, I want to see a return of Vulture. I want to see a return of
that too.
Mando's Scorpion. I want to see him because we already seen a little bit of him. I want to see more of Mysterio, and then introduction of the classics, Green Goblin.
And who did Vulture link up with in
Raven.
prison at the end of
Scorpion?
Scorpio. And that's who I thought was coming next.
Scorpio.
And on top of that, his daughter wasn't even in this movie.
Yeah, no,
She was like his
gone.
complete love interest, and then
Well,
she just
She moved.
She gone.
At the end of the
You know how it is, bro. You know,
like Cleveland or some shit.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Why does everybody move to Cleveland in these movies?
because of Ohio, bro.
No one actually moves to Cleveland in real life. I'm sorry, we love you,
I
Cleveland.
don't even remember. I could be making that up, but I just know she did move.
She did move.
I don't know.
Because I remember there was a line talking about our father wants us away from the trial.
Yeah.
He doesn't want us here.
For the record, Critix loves Cleveland. Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland does rock. At least
Listen.
that's what Drew Carey show used to say, right?
Oh.
I like Cleveland because of Howard the Duck.
And LeBron James.
Cleveland.
LeBron James.
Cleveland.
Yo, let's move on. Let's stick with Sam Jack. It's been rumored and now confirmed, Klep, that Sam Jack's going to be taking part in a reboot, or is it a continuation of the Saw franchise? Do you know the Saw movies?
I'm
Wade?
familiar. I think I tapped out at like 4.
Everybody did.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody
I know
did.
there was like 9 or something
I
like
tapped
that,
out
but
at
I don't
3.
think I made it past a handful.
Yo,
of them.
let me give you a new premise. This new Saw franchise, or a reboot, whatever you want to call it, is going to be produced by the one and only Chris Rock. Yeah, that's right. I did not misspoke. Chris Rock, the comedian, bro.
Well, to be like we were just talking about that. I think we're moving into an era where like I felt like the 90s were like comedians were trying their luck at like horror.
Yeah.
As like actors, and I feel like we're now in the era where like we've seen it. Like how many times? Like Adam McKay.
Yeah.
Who's doing the new Joker? That's Todd
Phillips.
Phillips.
Yeah.
Now you got there was another one that I was thinking of too. Like we're
Jordan
moving into
Peele,
that.
obviously.
Jordan Peele. Like
Yeah.
we're moving into that era where it's like, why not?
Yeah. Let's take people out of the box. Right?
Yes, bro. John Favreau.
Yeah.
I think he really set the tone for that because it's like he went from Swingers and what was the one with Puffy and Maid. Yo, he went from those. Like, like Dick and Fart. Like, no, let's not knock down Swingers. Swingers actually had like a lot of nuance.
Swingers is dope.
Had a lot of nuance to it, but it was like but it was a comedy.
It is a comedy.
He went from that. Now he's doing Lion King.
Yeah.
Like in live action.
Yeah.
Like
heavy lifting, directing
Not only
stuff.
that, I mean, he did Iron Man.
He did. Iron Man.
he started all of this shit. Like
Him and Robert Downey Jr. are responsible for the MCU.
no, literally those two, and obviously Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Klep, how do you feel about Sam Jack and Chris Rock joining forces to put together to maybe bring back from the dead this franchise?
I'm curious only because, like, here's the thing. When Saw first came out, the magic behind that movie was that it was a low-budget film and it was just well-written. The twist at the end sold.
Everybody loves it. That's what everybody...
We didn't care how much it was made. It took to make this movie. We didn't care who was in the movie, even though they tried to put Donnie Wahlberg in the movie. But I like the writing of that movie. Now this one is like going to be star-studded. I don't know how.
Well, who else is attached to this
this
film?
Dude, I mean, semi-out. You don't get any bigger than that.
Yeah, no.
And also with the original Saw series, it was like that was the era where everything was so predictable.
Yeah.
So that twist, like now I think we're living in the era of twists. You almost have to play things by the books to be surprising now because people are like expecting the twist. But do we know the dynamics? Like who's playing? Like what's Sam playing?
Everything's new, I think.
Yeah, it's
new.
it's a complete reboot. I don't think it's going to follow any of the original storyline. I mean, it probably have similar like premise, but it's definitely a whole new. But Lionsgate is still attached. Chris Rock is in jail. We got Marisol Nichols who's attached, and then we have Max Mighella who's attached. I'm not familiar.
I'm not.
But they're attached.
See, my issue with this reboot is that it hasn't been that long since we got a Saw movie. We got Jigsaw not too long ago.
And honestly, I think Rock is in this movie.
Oh, he's also starting.
Yeah, because I think the rumor is Samuel L. is supposed to play his dad.
Are we gonna see like a comedy take on this?
Definitely not.
I hope not.
I don't think
it's
so.
Saw, dude. That was like the franchise that made
It's gore.
turn.
Yeah, it's torture porn.
Like, that was the one. You know?
It was like I was telling Keith. At the end of the day, there's certain people in the industry that I trust. And I know a lot of people don't feel this way about Chris Rock for whatever reason. But I trust Chris Rock.
Listen, if you don't trust Chris Rock, go and watch Top 5 right now. That's a great movie, bro. And he directed
Thank you.
that. He started
Thank
that.
you.
He wrote that.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Bro, I remember I called Keith right after I watched that and was like, bro, Chris Rock is fucking back.
Yeah.
Like, it was like classic Chris Rock, and it was so effortless. Like, it was like
And the cast was just
perfect,
Yeah,
bro.
Rosario.
Bro, at the end of the day, like, I trust Chris Rock. I think they wouldn't be going in this route if they didn't have an idea of what they're doing and that it was a really good idea.
And I think he pursued this, so he must have something for it. You know what I'm saying?
Stay tuned.
Yo, let's move on to something that's definitely gonna be a comedy, which is the newest sequel to Ghostbusters, starting the one and only Ant-Man himself, Paul Rudd.
Well, he's just an add-on. We don't know who's really going to be the front man of this thing, but I'm curious, and I can't wait.
Listen, if you need a face for this movie specifically, you can't do much better than Paul Rudd, especially right now.
That is true.
I honestly think that they need to go back and bring out that crew.
Oh, I think they will be in this.
They'll do that.
whole
They'll do that.
Crew.
They'll do that.
That whole Apatow crew. If Paul Rudd is
I was gonna say that. I was thinking the same thing. I think Rogan's gonna be in it. I think it's gonna be that crew.
Yeah.
Because they're perfect for
They
it.
were supposed to.
They're like
Franco
nerdies. Maybe
was
not
supposed
Franco, but I think
oh man, Franco
who was
and
homeboy
this?
from Forgetting Sarah Marshall? I think he has to be in it. I think he has to be in it.
I know.
We were just trying to come up with
It
his name
escapes me. We apologize because that movie is
Fret.
Yes. Siegel. Jason Siegel.
Jason
Siegel.
What I said,
Jason Segel.
Yo,
shout out.
You said Fred Siegel, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
somebody too, though.
that is
Shout out to Fred Siegel.
Shout out to both the Siegel brothers.
I think Fred Siegel's like a clothing line.
Shout out to Beanie Siegel too.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out all the Seagulls out there.
Broad Street Bully.
Shout out the Seagulls at the beach. Like, all the Seagulls, bro. Like,
Yo, but for real
What's
though,
that Siegel's name from Little Mermaid? Shout out to him.
shout out, facts.
they gonna recast him too as Asian.
Oh man.
Just too fun. Anyways, yo.
They're gonna make him a bluebird. They're gonna recast the Seagull.
He's not
as
gonna be a
bluebird.
seagull. He's just gonna be a pigeon, and you're gonna like it. Yo, no, but for real though, Paul Rudd Ghostbusters. After the last Ghostbuster film that we got, which was that female-oriented,
I need redemption.
Are people just gonna forget that? And,
Yes.
Like, let's not mention.
I think
that
they
ever
already
again?
have forgot it. No offense to anyone in that movie,
Klep, you were the biggest fan of this movie that I've ever met. Like, how do you feel
but it was not my cup of tea.
of the reboot?
Of the reboot, yes.
And
You
you
love
didn't
this.
like it.
Of the female
Yeah,
one?
Melissa McCarthy
Okay, so
and that crew.
I don't think it's a great movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. Shout out because they filmed it in our backyard. But I think that if they played with alternate universes, I would thoroughly enjoy this movie completely. Because they had all the original Ghostbusters in it, but they weren't themselves.
So you're saying this new movie coming out with Paul Rudd, it's the actual sequel to Ghostbusters?
The original.
2?
Yep, the original Ghostbusters. So this is Ghostbusters 3 from the original. And like I said, I didn't have a problem with the all-female one. I thought it was a little bit funny.
Two questions for that movie. One,
Yeah.
was it better than the original franchise?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And two, was it a new, fresh take on it that also works? Say what you want to say.
Kind of, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, and that's why I said the one thing that would really save it is if they linked it. Because people didn't want a new Ghostbusters. No matter how good it was, everyone was going to shit on it. Just think if it was the only one that ever was invented, you'd be like, it wasn't terrible, but it didn't live up to the fucking original. Like, come on.
And it had a great cast. They couldn't have casted that any better, to be honest.
Every female in the industry that was hot.
And like as good at writing
Kate
and as
McKinnon.
funny.
Come on.
They were in that.
Yeah, so
Leslie
I don't take anything from it.
Massenel.
I just think that it should not stand alone. It should respect the original. And
So like what Men in Black's doing.
Yes, because that Lynch.
Okay.
Think about it. If
Yeah,
that movie was a reboot, we'd be shitting all over it.
Did you like Men in Black?
I loved it.
Yeah, but we would be shitting all over it.
He said you didn't like it.
I did not.
Yeah, he did.
But I feel like you're not a huge fan of Hemsworth for some reason.
Oh, I do.
Because you hated Thor,
He's
too.
Also, no. He's awesome as Thor. When he plays anything in any other movie, he's like.
What was that
very
movie where like the
whatever.
world's ending and there was and it was like kind of the kids in the neighborhood and he was like the leader of it. It was almost like The Outsiders a little bit. He was younger. I saw it recently. No, it's
That
like
was a good one. But
it's like some Armageddon type shit where like the world's ending. There's like I forget how it was, like the dynamic of it. I watched it a few months back and I was like, holy shit, he's actually pretty good in this.
Listen, you find me a movie in which Men
in Black was hilarious.
Oh wait, are you talking about like Red Dawn?
Yes, I believe that's what it was.
Yes, it was Red Dawn.
Yes, and that was solid. I thought he was.
Watched the
That's
original?
a remake.
The original is
it?
100 times better, bro.
But like he's young and like I thought it was really good for like.
Bro, no.
All right, shit.
Nah, you're just you're talking about a shit movie made from a good movie. Like, no.
But let me tell you guys this though: we have a casting list for the new Ghostbusters.
Break it down, Klep.
Right now, we have Finn Wolfhard, which is Mike Wheeler.
Okay,
Stranger
I
Things.
like that.
We have Ann Potts, who plays Janine in the original.
She's coming back.
Receptionist. Yeah, everyone's coming back. And we have Bill Murray. We have Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, so they are bringing the original
And
cast.
Sigourney Weaver.
Oh wow.
All right.
I love
this.
Yeah.
I like this.
So
What about Homeboy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Rick Moranis is not signed on yet, but
They need to get him.
Well, here's the thing. I think he's going to be the cherry on top because he retired.
Yeah,
years
he's not.
ago.
He doesn't act.
He retired years ago. So for him to come out of retirement for this will be.
It would be fitting though.
It'll be huge.
He
Yeah.
will forever be Barney from the Flintstones for me.
Damn, you took his worst little piece, like his.
Hey, it is what it is, bro.
He had the voice down.
Him and John Goodman, bro. Yabba dabba doo.
He will always.
Yo, imagine
be,
shooting that.
Zelinkus.
Honey.
Yeah, of course.
He will always be. That's who he is to me. Or Seymour Krelborn.
Yo, but getting back to
From Little Shop of
Ghostbusters,
Horrors.
though.
The Little Shop of Horrors. That's kind of what I always kind of
This
remember him from.
movie's being directed by the son of the original director,
Love
right,
it.
Klep?
Yes. So Ivan Ratman's son. Jesus, his name escapes me.
So it's like a passion project, isn't it?
Yeah, he apparently there was always a script that was already written, and it just never got greenlit. But then they ended up getting
Sounds
it
like
greenlit.
Hollywood.
Jason Ratman, that's his name. So so he's taking the reins of this, and his dad's producing, and I think it's in great hands. And I honestly, I got to tell you, people are so tied up, like all bent out of shape about, even the females from the reboot are saying that it's kind of a slap in the face to them because they feel like that no one's appreciating the all-female cast version. But I'm telling you,
Because no one liked it.
if you just link the two with an alternate universe thing, because there is an alternate universe story within Ghostbusters in the comic book, the video game.
Bro, but outside of that, like, when did that come out? 2016?
A couple years ago, yeah.
If people aren't appreciating it by now, I don't think this new movie is ruining that.
It could. I think it could. If
Bro, at this point, it's like even Clerks was like grew a life of its own at this point. 3 years in, people are either liking it or they're not. Like Scarface was already like. All right,
I
maybe
honestly
that took,
think
like, decades,
if these females showed up in this movie, it would not hurt them at all.
No.
It would be like, oh shit, wow, they are connected. I'm gonna go to the next one.
I can tell you that them going to the media and sounding like sour grapes is not going to help that.
That was a bad look.
That's
And it
not
was
going to
only a
help
couple
their
of them.
case.
It was only a couple of them, but I mean, yeah, that was a bad look.
Like if I'm the studio, I'm not going to take that and be like rewarded by putting them in the movie.
Yeah.
Now, the studio for this movie is Klep.
I don't know who's attached to this.
I'm thinking it's Warner Brothers.
I think so. Who's
I
the
think they
original?
owned it. And another thing that they're launching pretty soon is a new streaming service. They're partnering up with HBO. Yeah, HBO's putting out a third streaming service, yo. It's not HBO Go for people that already have it through their cable provider. It's not HBO Now for people that just want to pay for HBO.
Bro.
It's for people that want HBO plus a few other things because they're going to put things like the new Batwoman show coming from CW.
No one cares.
Exclusive to that.
No one cares.
Bro, I literally feel like department stores are going to start starting streaming services.
Macy's streaming service.
Macy's. We're about to get news that like Home Depot is just jump started their streaming
Klep,
service.
Maybe Critix should just start a streaming service.
Ooh.
Yo, Klep, the Finish Line just started.
Yeah, like
service.
Foot Locker just dropped its new streaming service.
Hot topic.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, you guys gotta chill, man. Like, listen, everything is a la carte, and I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Showtime.
It's too much.
Like,
No, it's way too much.
First of all, there was a time when we would get all these channels in a package. Now we're getting each channel in its own streaming service. Like, how does it even make any sense?
It doesn't.
And now they pulled Friends.
Yep.
Yeah. And
They pulled
The Office.
The Office, which weren't they both on the same network?
Oh, they were both on Netflix.
Here's what it
Well,
is.
no, the original network.
Oh,
when they were
NBC.
on NBC. So guess what? NBC's about to drop its new streaming service. Like,
Oh, they are.
wait for it.
That's why they. You know how much money they had to pay to take.
That's
the
what I'm saying,
Office
like-
off? It was millions of dollars.
For them
bro.
to pull that, you already know they're coming with a streaming
They had
service.
to break out of a contract and they had to pay millions of dollars
Here's
to
what should have
Netflix.
happened. This whole streaming idea should have been patented. Streaming format
Well, it's the same thing that happened with iTunes.
should have been patented.
Yeah.
Because now it's like it's the dumbest shit in the world that everyone. That the fact that these studios think
This is America.
that everyone is going to buy you're losing half of your market.
This is America.
Yeah, I know, but they're losing half of their market because you'll have diehard people who will say, you know what, I'm gonna fuck with CBS All Access.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have a bunch of people say, I don't really give a shit.
That's me. Like I love some of their shows they have on there,
Yeah,
but I
like-
can't in good conscience.
Bro, as long as it's America, there's going to be a Shake Shack. There's going to be a Burger King. There's going to be a Wendy's. There's going to be a McDonald's. There's going to be Five Guys. Like, it's not different. You go to the bread aisle. There's 100 different breads by like 12 different brands.
And you know what? I don't
That's
read
what
any
it's
of the
going to be.
labels. I look at the one that I like how it looks. I don't read any
You're
of the
not supposed to
labels.
judge books by its cover.
I
Gus.
know, but I don't go into the bread aisle and be like, let me buy this brand.
You'd be
Wonder.
surprised. A lot of people are very brand
You know,
oriented.
actually, you know what else
Yeah,
I do?
I'd be
You know
buying
what?
I used to
bro.
exclusively drink Pepsi,
You know
and I
what
wouldn't
else I
touch
do?
Coca-Cola.
I buy the longest loaf for the cheapest price. That's what I buy.
And that's what people are going to do in any market.
So here's the thing. What is the cheapest price they can put on this streaming service that will make it?
Disney's got that. Locked.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
They're
with
gonna have
so
the
much
most content.
competition with Netflix and
Disney's the cheapest
Amazon and Disney and now
How much is Disney
HBO
gonna be?
Max.
$6.99.
Ooh.
How much-
Yeah, but bro, you know what they're gonna do. You already know they're gonna do exactly what Netflix did.
Yeah.
They're gonna do exactly what JetBlue did.
They're
They're
gonna
gonna do exactly what anyone
you
does
in.
when they're gonna pull you in at that $6.99. They're gonna get you hooked.
Yeah.
And when you're hooked, they're gonna be like, guess what? It's $10.99. Not that bad. It's only up $3.99. 2 years later, it's gonna be $12.99.
Well,
And you're gonna be
Netflix
like,
up
well,
to
I'm already.
$16.99 right
And
now.
and that's what I'm saying. Like,
But you can
and
get
you're
it for
so
free if
invested.
You got T-Mobile.
True, but T-Mobile's paying that bill. Don't get it twisted.
They
Like,
are, and you
it's
want to know
coming
what
out
else?
of their pocket.
A lot of what they're doing, and this is very smart because Hulu now is teamed up with Spotify. So now for $9.99, you get both Hulu and Spotify.
That's the
I
best
have that.
deal. That's the best deal.
I have that.
So here's the thing, because like Hulu and Disney used to be in bed together with Hulu, right? Like Disney, Fox, and I think NBC started Hulu together.
Yep.
So now that Disney's pulling out its content, and NBC's probably gonna do the same eventually, man, what is gonna like? These are just gonna be skeleton streaming services with barely any content. Like, how much would you pay this HBO service?
I wouldn't.
I
No,
wouldn't.
But like, what's the price that would make you be like, hey, it's $4?
Wait, so I'm confused. Is this like?
I wouldn't at all.
Is it like backwards compat? Like, is it going to be like I don't need HBO Go. I
yeah,
can
you
get this
don't
one,
need HBO Go,
and you'll
It's
get
gonna
everything that's on HBO.
It's
Go.
gonna
Okay.
include everything.
So if
that
I get
HBO has
this,
ever made.
I'll get Sopranos. I'll get like
Yes.
Entourage. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Got it.
All
That's
their
not
con-
bad.
It's not bad, but like, what's an attractive price?
Yeah,
though?
what's the difference though? That's my question.
Like, listen, Netflix has a head start on all of these guys because their original content is selling it.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck about any of the older shit that's on Netflix. We go there for the
100%.
exclusive
Right.
content.
The-
No one else has that on lock.
And that's not hard though. There's so many scripts that have just been sitting around for years that you just got to grab it.
Well, I got you right
And
now.
you got a new,
I
like-
got you right now.
but-
Listen to
I
my-
guarantee Stranger Things was sitting on someone's desk for like
But here's
years
the thing,
before it came to
Netflix
Netflix.
is the simplest. Like, think about it. I'm not
Right now.
going out of my way to go to CBS.
I agree.
All Access. I'm not going out of my way. I barely went out of my way for Hulu.
Yeah.
Barely.
But what's going
But
out of your
Hulu's
way?
worth it.
Both of the
Yeah,
apps are
after a
right
while,
there on
but
your
you had to
screen.
get there to realize that. But Netflix is like Apple.
Yeah.
Netflix is like, this is the end of. You ask.
Wow,
any-
you saying that is
It
like
just works.
like, you
No, it
just-
really does.
yeah,
work.
that baffled me though.
This is
Him
what
though.
I'm saying. Listen, you ask any elderly person about streaming services,
They're going to say Netflix.
They're going to say Netflix.
Of course.
They're going to be like, what the fuck is a Hulu?
What's a Hulu?
And Hulu is just as big.
Yeah.
Because they've made their mark. They've put their feet in the ground and said, we're here.
How many people to this day don't know Amazon has a streaming services, and it's not just packages.
And they give that away.
It's not just Prime at your door. You know, a lot of people don't use their video service. They don't know they have like exclusive shows.
I forget that I have.
They don't know they're making an exclusive Lord of the Rings TV show.
The only reason I have Prime is because I buy off Amazon and I get free shipping. But I forget that I have streaming.
But listen,
I don't go out of my way to
you mentioned.
You're right.
Netflix has these original shows that sells their platform, right? Mm-hmm. What if HBO has the same? Like this one that I'm about to mention right now. The spin-off for Game of Thrones confirmed to be called The Longest Night. The Longest Night. George R.R. Martin broke it down a little bit. It's going to be taking thousands of years before the events of Game of Thrones. He said it's going to be not 7. There's going to be hundreds of kingdoms. And we're going to see a lot of classic families, right? Like people that we grew to attach to. People like the Starks and direwolves.
So they're just taking the MCU's lead.
Yeah, they're just taking it way to a prequel, bro. You'd
be surprised, bro.
Listen,
they got a base.
You were never a Game of Thrones fan.
I know people are going
and
to
that's what
flock
it is.
with it. I know that people are going to flock to it.
So that's all it is.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No, but I know it's huge. And people are going to jump all over it.
Yeah, people will pay for this
if it's quality, though, because the quality always shines. Yeah. The cream is always going to rise to the top. So, yeah, you're going to get this instant base. There's going to be millions of people that are going to instantly come and peep season 1, episode 1. You need to hold them. You need to be able to hold them.
Look at Fear. Fear is struggling.
Fear.
Of The Walking Dead. And that was one of the biggest fan bases before.
Yeah, but that's not a spin-off. That's just that everyone's dead and they're still trying to keep it running. Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
It's a spin-off of The Walking Dead.
And let me give you even.
Spun it off before the show.
Bro, I'm sick of these spin-offs, these reboots. Yo, original content, y'all. Creators. Create.
I got a pitch for you, bro. I got a second spin-off for The Walking Dead right now, bro. You want it? I don't care because it's happening. AMC greenlit a second spin-off.
Bro, they are
shameless
with these reboots and spin-offs.
And not only that, but Klep, Walking Dead just ended in the comics.
Yeah, they killed the main character. They killed the main character who's supposed to be getting a movie.
Yeah.
Like,
how is this gonna affect everything?
Spoilers.
Well, people know. I mean, it's in the comics.
It's in the comics, yeah.
It's in the comic. They killed Rick Grimes, which is the only reason most people watch.
And then out of nowhere, they were like, "Oh, tomorrow's issue is the last one."
Yeah.
What?
It's like clearly like cash grab. Like no one is thinking about new exciting ideas, and it's like let's just create something off of this thing. It's like I feel like I'm in the 70s.
What else can we spin off?
Introduce himself to the Jeffersons, and all this.
Oh my God!
It's like mad spin-offs.
Yo, let me give you the premise for this one before you write it off. All right. This is gonna center around 2 sisters, very young in age. They're gonna focus on the new generation growing up in this Walking Dead world.
So it's a sequel.
Well, it's kind of like think about Carl. You know, he was a child when this all started. It's gonna focus on that kind of on very young actors living in this new ruthless world that is The Walking Dead. Yeah. Will you want to watch that?
No.
Because that episode was on last week.
Yo, we have seen that many times. Honestly,
that episode was definitely last week. I'm not watching anything new.
New ideas.
Yeah,
new ideas.
I don't give a damn who you put in that show. You put Drake in that show. I ain't watching that shit.
Aubrey?
Oh, you put Aubrey in, and I'm watching it, bro.
You're watching it? Yo, imagine Aubrey Game of Thrones cameo. He just with the sword and shit.
I'm straight.
That should be epic.
Nah, I'm good.
What if he's like a zombie?
Maybe the only way I'd probably watch one episode is if Kevin Smith directed it.
Okay. Right. Fair enough.
What if I tell you he's the showrunner?
That's only for the music.
What if I tell you he's the showrunner?
That's only for Zombie J.
What if he's the showrunner? Would you watch it?
The showrunner?
Yeah, it's a show.
Oh. Maybe I'll give him 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh, damn. Would you watch it
2 or 3.
He's the showrunner?
Yeah, I'll always give Kevin. Bro, I went and watched fucking.
Yo, we ride hard.
We saw Yoga Hosers.
Yo, we ride hard.
If anyone
and we went in as diehard fans.
If anyone ever asked me if I'm gonna go see something Kevin Smith, I'm like, I went and saw Yoga Hosers. I went to the fucking premiere.
We were there, second row.
And
walked
out of there with a clear perspective and gave it a shot.
Yes, like trying for it to win. Like we're like, yeah, but it had these moments.
Like it wasn't for us. It was for the kids.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yo,
Oh,
shout
no.
out to Kevin Smith. We love you.
Yo, he's an icon.
Yeah.
Fellas.
We definitely went in there champion that one.
Fellas, that's all Migz has this week. But if you guys want to pitch in a little something more for the critics out there, I would love to hear it.
I mean,
Could be Walking Dead.
nah, man.
Could be streaming service.
Nah, man. We're gonna
Be-
sign off
Be on the lookout for that critic streaming service coming in 2021.
with original shit.
Or we might just spin off a bunch of shit,
We'll
because
just,
why
we'll
not?
just spin off Critix Talk.
No, we're literally just going to reboot everything that's ever been made.
No, we're gonna redo everything we've ever done.
Yeah.
Everything's getting rebooted.
We're going with a younger
Even the
cast.
stuff that like sucked is getting rebooted.
We're gonna recast Wade,
Yeah.
Migz, and myself.
Yeah.
Like,
younger version.
What was the
I will be played by like someone of another race, just because it's fun.
That's like
what was the movie that
Yeah.
Franco just redid over? What was the original one called?
Franco?
You know the one that he like the shitty movie that he was like it was like
Oh, the
Oh,
artist.
the
The artist.
disaster artist.
the Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
We're rebooting
The Room.
that.
Yeah,
we're rebooting that.
We're doing The Room, but
Yeah. We're
Critics.
rebooting The Room.
Klep, you want to leave him with a little something?
As always, Critix Talk, guys, and we want to make sure that you guys wake up, be passionate, create, and repeat. Critix Talk.
We out.